Hi all, welcome to another chess24 Banter Blitz. It's approaching 11:30. Before we get on to the Banter Blitz, let me show you the amazing code you can use for 15% off. There's a voucher code Kingscrusher if you head to chess24.com/premium, and with this you can challenge welcome to the likes of the current world chess champion Magnus Carlsen, super grandmasters, quite often stream, international masters, celebrities, and even bunnies like me on a Sunday. Okay, so let's go to the challenges now. Alright, and pick off the first challenge today. So, Patrick, hi there. I think I'll try e4. And shall I dare a king's gambit? Alright, yeah, just to try and wake up. I'll try and wake up with a king's gambit here. First thing in the morning on Banter Blitz. King's gambit. Will I regret this? Romantic era opening. Oh, my thing's not correct. I've just realised. Sorry about that. I'm just going to fix that. Whoops. Whoa. Oh, there we are. Should be available in a few seconds, an upgrade. Pardon me. Okay, it should be coming down the screen on the right. Any second now. Coming down. Yep, coming down. Okay, so we got a king's gambit. I'm seated in the right place on the screen, I think. So we've got this semi-open F file here. This is interesting, I think. I'm protecting e4 now. I'm aware that knight b4 might be handy at some point. Maybe c3 is interesting to stop knight b4. I'm kind of aware. Okay, I'm going to have to play this c3 now, I think. Alright, let's try and focus in more. So, c3 protecting d4. That knight was pinned. It also means now my queen can come out. Let's see what's going on here. One thing to note, if castling queenside, you know, sometimes this diagonal is dangerous. And like bishop f5 if the bishop wasn't there. On castling queenside, if that's the intention. And if that really is the intention, queen c2 might be good. For later bishop f5 if bishop takes, there's, you know, might be e5 and bishop f5 at some point. But if black doesn't castle queenside, let's imagine black castles kingside. Alright, this is happening. Okay, maybe it's a bit trappy though, that's the only thing. Queen c2 is a bit trappy, but okay, let's... No, I've said it. Should I say it? I mean, should I do it? I have talked about it. I think it's a little bit trappy. Maybe the queen... Maybe the queen belongs on a4. With this queen here, okay, b4, b5, a4, a5. Let's see, b4, b5, a4, a5. Anything else going on? e5. All right, let's put this bishop back. So, yes, if bishop takes, then, you know, I'm looking forward to e5 for bishop f5. Let's see. If bishop doesn't take on f3, maybe there's something like knight g5, or is there just f6? There might be just f6 there. Okay. Let's see. Knight d2, b4, b5. It's still my plan, I think. b4, b5 plan. Ah, wait a second. Why can't I play, out of interest, d5? And if I want a pawn, any b6, there's bishop a6, like mating. I think d5 is interesting, actually. Can you think about it? d5. Let's try and win this a7 pawn. So knight takes and bishop takes a7. Knight takes e5, bishop takes a7 would mean that any b6, there's bishop a6. There's also rook f7 here potentially, although there is, okay, bishop a6 is checkmate here. Yeah, okay, thanks Patrick. Yeah, interesting there. King's Gambit. Okay, oops. So am I going to repeat the King's Gambit against oops? Am I going to bottle it? Oh, I've played it. I'm in brave mood today against you guys. Too brave. Probably too brave. I've undermined g6 actually. Well, it means e5, bishop g6. Might be useful. So bishop g, because this is h5. I know this from the tango stuff I've been researching. That anytime you play, you know, a move like h5, you know, that g6 is a bit of a pain. You know, sometimes the knight on g6. So if I can get to play bishop f4 or queen d3, this looks like an interesting position. Yeah, I thought, do I bore you guys with the London system today, which I'm also researching at the moment, or should I just play King's Gambit? I thought, okay, in the interest of entertainment, I thought King's Gambit, I'll spare you playing London system. So I'm after queen g6 here. So knight c3, bishop d2, and castle queenside would seem to be a bit delicious, I would say, because these pawns are like being undermined here. If I don't castle kingside and castle queenside, I just think it's rather delicious here. There's a lot of weaknesses going on. Knight c3, bishop d2, and castle queenside. But first of all, black needs to address, yeah, that. Okay. Okay. So I want bishop d2 and castle queenside, essentially. Am I overestimating here? It could be that I'm overestimating the position. Is it? Is that the case? Yes, black has moves. Yep, black has moves. Okay. Oh, he's not going to let me castle, is he? But mind you, king d1, rook e1, if queen e7, that might not be such a big deal. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, that's slightly annoying. That stopped me castling. Annoying. Okay. What do I do? Maybe d5 here. Punting for queen g6 or rook e1. But on rook e1, you know, g takes might be more tempting, or is it? There's just bishop f4. Can I basically get in a check or a pin here? Am I getting a check on e1? If rook e7, I think queen G6 check is going to be tasty. There's a pin, but I'm also wondering here actually about Queen H7, that invasion. Queen H7. Oh, I see. 94 here gives me a prospect of knight takes G5 check, and then Queen H7 after. So does he actually? All right. Hang on. There is that knight takes G5. I think rook takes G5 might be needed. I still think I'm slightly better because it's like winning the exchange, I think. The pawns have been slightly fragmented with my pawn on G5 there. But the exchange up, okay, the queens could come off. But I haven't sacrificed a piece, right? Pick off this pawn or not. No, there's rook e2. Okay. Maybe rook e4 is better. Aha. All right. I'll here. Where's that bishop e2? Maybe maybe possibly. Okay, bishop e2, rook f2. Okay, here we go. All right, so now the exchange up, is that enough? Just suppress these pawns for a moment. Or fracture. Try and fracture them, dice them. Pawns on dark squares away from the bishop. Right, so that gets protected. I like f4 to go into f7 potentially. I think I have to stick my pawns on dark squares away from the bishop. Oh, rook f7 would have been good there. Okay, so everything I've got is virtually on a dark square away from the bishop. Trying to avoid tactical issues. So rook f8, rook a6. So rook f8, try and stick on the dark squares. Rook a6, try and pick up a6, and that's a passed pawn. So rook a6, a8. Take here. All right. And here. Aha. And a6. All right, I can queen. I can queen over here as well. All right, thanks. Oops. Okay, interesting. Am I going to be playing the king? This is a day of the king's gambit. I might be playing the king's gambit for e5. The romantic era opening. I'm not sure about d6. It kind of gives me a few things that I kind of like. Okay, I don't want to run into d5 in a hurry with a tempo, because it would break my pawn structure. Okay, so what is the plan? f5? Maybe, okay. Queen over here. Bishop g5. Maybe queen h4. Right, so it looks like an attacking forming. but I'm not totally clear yet about anything. If h6, I mean, do I take on f6 or do I take on h6? If I took on h6, takes knight h7. Oh, that's interesting. I can take on e5 here, maybe. Is there d4? Okay. All right. So knight going back here. And okay, c2 is about to drop. And let's say maybe I take like this, not to lose c2 for a moment. Okay, so if I do take that, now knight f4, maybe to go knight h5, knight h5, or knight g4, maybe knight g4, g4. Okay, there's one or two options emerging there. I think the simple thing would be exchanging to double the pawns and to play knight d5. It looks fairly safe. Give my king some air. We'll use this a file. So h3 and what counterplay exists? Okay, rook a7 is on a dark square away from the light square bishop. Knight f4 means knight e6. That king's coming up. Let me just test that. The king, is it really going? Okay, there. If bishop a6, there's rook b6. That's annoying, isn't it? Forking. But there's knight b4, but then there's rook f6, but then there's king g5. So I really need g3 in preparation for holding the knight not to be forked there. So I want to play rook f6. And knight h5 is possible. And now rook f7 is possible. It's quite a few pawns. Or there's bishop f7. Maybe bishop f7. Which means bishop g6 and bishop h7 to try and pick up f8 rook. So knight takes c2, bishop g6, king g8, bishop h7, king takes, and then rook takes f8. Alright, all the rooks hanging. Let's checkmate. Okay, yeah, interesting. Thanks for the game there. Okay. Right. Bond Kramer. So no king's gambit here. Okay. Alright, let's do this. I don't know why I want to do something different. Oh, okay. This is in memory of there's an international master that played this. I forgot his name. Okay, it'll come to me. Or maybe it won't. Maybe in the chat you know who plays this. Okay, this is aggressive, isn't it? G5. Daniel Copeland. Kopeck. Yes, Kopeck. Kopeck system. Kopeck. All right. So anyway. All right. Okay, if I play knight e5 as a sort of pawn sack, I have to be able to punish the king in the center, surely, or am I just losing a pawn? Interesting. The Kopeck system with bishop d3, and I played him once. It's quite funny. I did beat him. Yeah, it was my first IM that I beat actually in a long play. He was crushing me, I think, positionally, and yeah, wriggled out tactically. Okay, so knight c4, the king's in the center, and I feel there might be compensation. Let's see, knight e4 threatens knight f6. If knight e4, bishop e4, if bishop b7, queen a4, if queen d7, okay. Well, here, knight d6 for knight f7 is possible, I think. And, you know, there's a potential for bishop g6 coming up. I wonder if I can do anything better than... no, I'll just take the rook. Okay. And, okay, I can be mated on g2 if I'm not careful. So I'm going to sadistically nod up, put a nods up to g2 here. Okay. Although I've seen that cheapo in advance. Okay. So let's see. Queen e2 and bishop g5, I suppose, would be my default plan. Or just, okay, putting the rook back for a moment. Queen e2 and bishop g5 is still my kind of plan now. Yeah, I think bishop g5 threatens bishop f6. If knight g6, there might be, well, there's coming up a queen e7 now. The knight is supporting queen e7. If rook d7, maybe rook ad1, or just take this. Okay, I'll just take this off, just in case something was happening there. All right, so here we go. I'll protect. Do I need to do that? I'm protecting that already. Okay, just in case. Maybe knight e5 and queen g4 coming up now. So queen g4. All right, okay. Queen h8, queen b8, queen h5 for queen g4. Okay, if I just hit the d5 knight here. Okay, I think I'm taking on d5. Alright, thanks, yeah, that was interesting. Bit of a gambit there, I thought. Because I don't like that. When I move my pawns and they do a gambit like that, I don't really like that. I feel the weakness is some backfire, like sometimes when you do like g5 and h5, you can backfire a bit. Because I've played like a caveman so many times, I kind of become aware of that. So bishop g7, h6, bishop g7, h6, or knight g7. My plan is usually knight g7. Right here, can I kick now this, the bishop. And if my opponent wants d5, d6, it is, yeah, interesting, I guess. It's a sort of Sicilian defense, semi-open foul, though, potentially. Okay. So h6, king h7 for f5 looks as though that's going to be a good idea with the center closed like that. H6, king h7, f5. Is that an idea? King h7, f5. Okay, so the knight can go back. And b5 is vulnerable for sure. Yeah, b5 is vulnerable. So if it's hit, you know, I could lose it. You know, maybe bishop d7, queen e8. If bishop d3, queen e2. I think I have to start a kingside campaign soon with f5. All right, so bishop a7 is nasty, right? I see that. Oh, Gordon Bennett, that is nasty. Okay, so I need to vacate. Yeah, c8. Bishop a7, rook c8. Oh, I'm walking straight into a nasty pin on the a file. But here, it looks as though my knight is also in need of an escape square. All right. Okay, that relieves some of the concerns I have for that knight, actually. Something else there. Knight g6, e4, bishop, knight d4, f4. Okay, so knight g6 wanting to play e4, and if knight d4, f4, so knight g6, e4, knight d4, f4. There is maybe a speculative piece sack. Okay, so I think I want to play this the way. Yeah, if knight g5, hg, queen h5, bishop h6 is interesting for white, actually. Okay, so anyway, that didn't happen. So knight e5, queen h4. Aha. Well, I don't mind this because there's a sort of blockade. If I play takes an f4 positional blockade pawn sack, I don't mind that position because I've suppressed the bishop. I've got a G road. Okay, is that happening? So f takes f4. In fact, no. Bishop d4 would have been good. But yeah, okay, so e3 looks interesting here, does it? e3 has been allowed. Maybe e3. Okay, for f4. Okay. All right, so what's going on here? 95 d takes. Okay, I got this knight pinned. Is there bishop f5? Bishop f5 coming up to unpin? or not? Maybe so. Because actually knight d6 looks like a nice square for the knight all of a sudden. Now, why wouldn't I take that? Okay, so I want to play knight d6. It holds c4. Okay, I think knight d6 still is effective here. Okay, so here, yeah, decision point. No, I don't know. No idea. I don't know which is best. Okay. Here, rook takes b4 is another pawn, I guess. Being greedy. Rook b5. Alright, solidify my pawns. Go behind the pass pawn. Push the pass pawn. Get into a king attack situation with rook g8. Combine and win on g2. There is rook b7. Alright. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think I'm doing well there now. So, Teja. Okay. e4. Okay, so e4. I'm playing the King's Gambit today. If you did want to play e5, just to let you know. Mind you, 2159. Should I be playing King? Should I be playing King's Gambit? I don't know. Maybe it's too risky. It's not happening anyway. Right, so this trendy thing is going on. Yeah. Is knight g5 move? Just looking at f7. Bishop e2, queen e2. Knight d4, bishop d4, queen d4, knight f7. The knight not being here means h2 is more sensitive. Alright, so okay. If I took here, d4 looks vulnerable. Okay, bishop f3 then for d5. Fascinating. d5. Knight e2 supports d4, but am I asking for trouble? Why not just d5 here? Knight e5, bishop e2, or bishop, or not? Bishop f4. Okay. Protect. I don't mind b2 being taken. That surely that would backfire. if I take on e6, right, let's give some air for the king. Right. Yeah, does he want that? Alright, b4 then. It gives me a plan, I think. Knight a4 to c5. This knight b6 looks, you know, tempting. Oh, queen c3 here. There's a combine and win philosophy. There's queen c6. What about queen e5? Combine and win on b8. Queen e5. If knight d7, queen g7. Or is there better? I think rook d7 doesn't work. My back row, I got some air, but you know, I think queen g7 is less controversial because he's got king d7 on rook d7. I'm not sure about that. So what about queen g7 for the moment? Oh, there's rook d3 for rook c3 here. Hold on a sec. Combine and win on c3. Rook d3, rook c3. Yeah. Let's imagine like rook e8, rook d3, rook e1, king h2, queen c2, rook c3. Yeah. If rook f8, oh. Well, here there's takes and bishop e5 is a nasty pin. Pin and win is my absolute favourite. Pin and win, but I've invented. I thought it was useful for me anyway. Combine and win recently. Like when you do batteries, you know, I thought, okay, what is that an example of? You know, combining pieces to create common squares, combine and win. I thought it was just as useful for winning for me personally than pin and win. Okay, so c3 here or rook c1. Rook c1 provides king f1. You know, I'm just going to do this. I don't want to start losing pawns if I don't need to lose pawns. King f1. And kicking this guy out. You know, bishop g5, bishop e3. Okay, bishop g5, bishop e3. That shields my king. Oh, there's c4 here for c5. Okay, I don't want to lose pawns, as I mentioned. If I don't need to. Okay, so king e2 coming up. f4 or g4. King e2, g4 seems right to stop the f pawn. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll take that. I think king e2. So g4, f4. Start marching these guys. f4, f5. Alright, there's not too many entry points around here. So f5, g5, f5. Okay, maybe king f3 or king d3 towards the center stops rook c4. This uses up the e5 square. Okay, can I go to d5 soon? d5, I don't get mated on d5, do I? Okay, there's no, I'm not getting mated on my. Just check, I've got some escape square, e4 potentially. Oh, it's only 20 seconds. I need to start pre-moving. Thanks, Teja. I thought you had an excellent position at the opening, actually. I might need to look that opening up. I didn't like that at all after the opening. Actually, okay. So, d4. Yeah. Try Smith Morra. Knight f3, bishop c4. So if I... Oh, that's interesting. h6. h6. Black's already behind the development. It's taking a liberty, isn't it? h6. e5 or not. Maybe e5. D takes, knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes, king d8, rook takes, check. If d takes, okay, so here bishop f7. So, queen c7, bishop e3. Okay, so f4. So f takes is check. Right. So queen c7 will give me queen c4. Yeah, that looks good enough for the moment. And rook AD1. Looks as though the kings had it. Thanks for the game, Gorgin. Yeah, I think h6 seems a bit weird to me. Ah, okay. Tango here. Oh, yeah. This is one of my favourite little gambits. One of my favourite little gambits for Banter Blitz. If I double the rooks, does that give me anything? Let's select C3 for a moment, just in case C3 is an issue. Knight C7. Alright, Knight C7 is threatened. But you know, if he plays Knight takes... Okay, I thought there'd be G4 coming up. Interesting. Bishop C5, Rook F7. Let's just drop this back or pin here. Maybe pin there. Why is this pin being loud? Alright, so Queen C3. Am I being stupid here? I think I'm being dumb here now. With this, he's got Knight A5. I'm just giving him tempo left, right, and centre. Okay. Well done. E4. Okay, forget my knights at F5. A bit of a dream. cover the entry points. Can I play Queen E1? Or maybe not. Knight E3 to F5. Oh, it's pre-move time, I think. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well played. Okay. I lost control there. That's for sure. Past the H pawn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to ball. Make this forever. So King H1, F5, Queen E1, F5. So if F takes, knight takes. Or bishop G5. And bishop G5. Can I take her? Try and get a D5 square. Okay. This looks good, I think, for doubling. There's rook F7. Is that any good? Maybe just on Queen F3. There's Queen H4. Let's go back to rook F7 for a moment. Bishop G3 after. There's rook D8. Oh, rook D7. And then rook D8. Oh, my back row's weak. Okay. Queen F3, Queen H4, G. Oh, this is mating on thingy. All right, let's move somewhere. Queen G4. So I think H3 maybe. H3. Well, it doesn't give the king air. H5, G5. Okay. How does this work? Okay. Maybe H5 here. Queen G5, H6. No, I don't know. Queen, I don't know. Nope, not sure. H6, it's pretty solid. G3, would that give me the possibility of Rook F7 without being mated? It's got pawns over there. Has he got enough? I'll take this guy. Run for the house. Oh, it's not my day today. Oh, that was horrible. Oh dear. I didn't know what to do there. Let's just break everything over here. All right, prom night. H3. Right, so knight d5. I've seen this before. Have we had this before, this discussion? C3, d4. Aha. I think we might have had similar position before. If I castle, I think I'm slightly better here. So if I castle, he's lost his light square bishop. Okay. Knight b3, knight g3 does knight c5. So I think I've got a chance to do this for knight c5. So king h2 here. f4, g4, g5. f4, g4, g5. f4, g4, g5. It's got knight h4. Wouldn't have thought that's good to allow knight h4 generally. a4, it's pointless. Okay. Bishop d2 to c3. Maybe. That looks as though I could challenge with bishop d4 that bishop. So bishop c3, and if knight e4, bishop d4. Oh, let's put this here for a moment. Protects f2. Maybe queen c2. Queen c2. Queen c2. Oh, okay. No, here, I think. b4, knight e4, knight d3 gives me the possibility of c5 in the future. b4 and knight d3. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Queen c2 and c5 to squish that bishop. Or is that wishful thinking? Queen c2 and c5 still. Queen c2 and c5. I'm not sure that's doing anything particularly, but queen c2 and knight f4 is also not doing anything much. Is he actually threatening something horrible now? Maybe. Possibly. Queen c2 protects at least f2. Actually, I think I probably want to play knight f4. Just before my pawn chain gets dismantled tactically. Knight f4 would actually hit the knight anyway. Okay, I think knight f4. So he's probably looking at, okay, horrible stuff. Okay, I'm hitting the knight. I wonder if h4 is worth playing. Well, not really. Okay. So bishop d2 just to evict this queen. What is the threat? What is the threat? If I play queen c3, just want to evict that queen. Yeah, I'm not sure. What's this? Something like this. Knight. On to f6. or G7. Thanks. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, it looked very, scary. Okay. I was a bit planless, actually. Yeah, it looks passive for me. Passive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think I'm aborting here to go on to the next one. And go on to the next one. Okay. Smith-Morra. So, I think it's a good opening for Blitz, generally. Smith-Morra. So, the basic setup is to put the rooks here and here, and then think about what to do. Okay, that's a kind of weakness, isn't it? Like squares. E5 is coming up as a potential threat. I'm not sure exactly. It looks like E5 will it do anything? Sometimes, yes. I'm not entirely convinced it does anything here. Does it? Probably not. Okay, just do this for a moment. Just to put the rook staring at the queen. Maybe bishop b3 and then maybe knight d5. If that situation ed is sometimes favourable strategically, taking bishop b3, knight d5 is probably more favourable than e5 takes bishop d6. I can't see what the point of that self pin is, so here I think knight d5 is more thematic. Just ed, bishop b7. I think there's a point there. I've seen this pattern before in Smith-Morra games. Maybe one of the points is to block in the bishop with its own pawn or not. There is a point to this exchange. It's not winning a piece or anything. I suspect there's a point. I need to work out what the point is, really. It looks kind of thematic. Okay, what is the point? Well, here the point might be to win further material with knight d4. Okay, there is definitely a point there. I mean, it seems to be that there's a point there. It's a pin and win scenario. Okay, so he attacks my queen. Where do I move my queen? Where? If I go to d2, there's knight e4. Queen d3. If bishop e4, I take the queen. My back row's weak. He has got bishop e4. Queen d3, bishop e4. I get mated. No, I don't get mated. There's king h2. Queen d3 is possible. Queen d3 seems possible. I'm going for queen d3 here. I believe queen d3. It supports the f5 square. It looks as though queen d3 is plausible. Okay. I don't think I'm getting back row mated. Work that one out. I'm looking at f7 here. I'm looking at knight f5 and bishop f7 here. Okay, so I can take off on f7, or I can play rook f7. It's another pawn. I can gang up on d6 with knight f5. Alright, there's no rook c1. Got that covered. Rook c2, bishop d6. Looks as though it's heading for trouble for the black position because rook d8, king h7. The king looks precarious. Okay. Is there not bishop d5 if rook d8, bishop e4 is possible? Backfiring on the pinner. Pin and win here, bishop e5. Absolute pin. Yeah, it's an absolute pin. This could lead to zugzwang, this position, or not. Well, I just take everything off. Oh, well, yeah, it's just, yeah. Alright, I have got a pawn majority over here as well. Okay. Alright, thanks. Yeah. I think that's thematic. 95. It looked thematic. Okay. Another. Alright. Tempted for the Halloween gambit. Is there anything more sane? Maybe bishop b5 for a moment. I think knight e5 is on the cards. This looks very stodgy. Alright, did I really want this game opening? It looks like stodge. d3, bishop g5. Right, at least I'll try and get my f pawn working. If bishop b2, rook b1, could be good with rook b7. If bishop b6, alright, let's just stabilize. I think king h2 does knight g4. If he weakens f5, then knight g3 is more effective. King h2, okay. Maybe bishop e3 here for dynamic f-file with an outpost on f5. If he took knight g3 to f5. King h2, okay, against bishop h3 anyway. So if he takes knight g3 to f5. Queen d2 for f4, otherwise bishop e3 wins a piece. Right, so here, okay, queen d2. Alright, so Can I afford to play f4? I think, yeah, try. Okay. Knight f4. At least I've made it less stodgy with a semi-open f file. So doubling rooks, there's a target on f7. I would imagine queen e2 to h5 later. Or, yeah, f7 target, double, queen e2. Okay, I think doubling here is fine. D takes, there's queen e4. Alright, king away from this diagonal maybe. Maybe king h1. Queen f2. No, king h1. What about e5? Is that any good? No, king h1 I think is looking like a cozy thing to do. Queen f2 after. Nope. Not really convinced by anything there. There's no tickling of any downside whatsoever, is there? F7 is solid. I don't know, the dark squares are vaguely weak. It's vague. This is solid. There's no real target on the F file, if I'm being objective. I think I do want to play that anyway. There's no G5, right? There's rook F3. Okay, he can double, but he's weakening F7. Queen C2 to Queen C4 after if he doubles. Okay, Queen C2 C4. Alright, so F6. Well, E5 is possible here, unless Queen C7 going into sort of pin scenarios. Hang on, E5. If Queen C7, Queen D4, if Queen E5, Queen E5, F takes rook F8. So I think E5 here is possible. Queen C7, Queen D4. Okay, E5. Looking at D4, looking at this pin. Queen D4. Okay, if F takes, there's Queen E4, rook F8. Hang on, no, there isn't. He's not losing material because the king, unfortunately, is protecting. That's not the case. That's not the case. There's Queen C4 and rook F8. So F takes, Queen E4, King G8. I play in that position. Queen C4, King H7, rook F8. So on FE, Queen E4, King G8. I don't play rook F8. I play Queen C4, King moves, rook F8. Right, here I think there's rook F5. Okay, now the Queen E4. Okay, so here there's rook F7. If two rooks for the Queen, and there's it looks good, two rooks for the Queen, but you know maybe E6 is stronger. No, if it wasn't pinned. But if I play King H1, there's rook E7. Two rooks for the Queen here. 3, 4. Okay, it looks like a good punt. Okay, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay, let's just do D4. D4. I don't know. Okay, King H1. Okay, let's just unpin here. Queen F4. Okay, for rook F8. Rook F8 coming up. Okay. Right, so there's rook F7 here. Queen moves, Queen G4. Queen G4. Looking at G7. Right. Okay. Maybe just e6 here. E6 for a moment. Yeah, it looks as though Queen f8 and Rook f7 wins. Queen f8, he's got no immediate check. King moves Rook f7. So if Rook f7, Queen d6, if Rook e6, Queen g7, if Queen e6, Queen g7. So Queen f8 and Rook f7, there's no immediate check. So Rook f7 looks like a killer move. Hang on. Queen e6, there's no Queen g7, but there is Queen e7. Okay, Queen, Rook f7. Yeah. No, I'm threatening mate. Queen e6, Queen g7. Rook f7, Queen d6. No, this seems to be winning. Thanks, yeah. Okay, it started with stodge, but okay, things livened up there later. Okay. So, okay. I've been tricked into how dare he get me to play a light square strategy? How dare he? I don't play light square strategies, and I'm now in horrible Shigorin. Thanks very much. That's just so horrible. This is just so horrible. All right, double my pawns. I'm going to play Bishop d6 here. Knight b5, Bishop d6. Oh, I've been inspired by Stockfish 12. I'm going to play Knight e4, f5, g5, h5. It won a game recently like that. I'm going to do that. f5, g5, h5. It beat Ethereal recently. Okay. f5. Okay. No, it's exciting again, I think. If I castle and then king h8, g5, f4. Actually, what was okay? No, I think saner positional play might be Queen e7 and e5 here. Actually, if I just play e5, this will liberate this bishop. It's all together. Yeah. Okay. d5 and e5. Okay, this is happening. d5 and e5. Now I've just dropped d5. Why am I dropping d5? Well, d4's on the fire anyway. Okay. If I played f4, there's a lot of pawn tension going on here. Let's just hold this for a moment. f4 looks as though it, might be worth considering as well. Okay. Whoa. Really? Okay. Okay, I'm going to play e4 here. And then fg. Is that greedy? I suppose it is. A4 or rook f3 on rook f1. Okay, let's protect this. Let's go down this f file. Or maybe a4 for knight a5 to c4. Is that worth doing? It probably are. Okay. Knight d3 coming up. Or no, cd95, it's a nasty pin, or is it? Okay, I think I want to double and then rook f2. let's just, you know, blockade that, actually. I think I just want to play G3 and then Rook F2. Yeah, I want to get an attack here. Rook F2 and Knight D3, Rook B2, Queen A3, Rook A2. It looks like a crushing attack. If I get like Rook F2, Knight D3, Rook B2, Queen A3, if I get that going, Rook F3. If I take, just out of interest, G2, F2, probably win. So I'm looking at, okay, my back row is not that weak. Okay, so Rook F2 here. Alright, so here, Queen B4 threatens mate. If Bishop takes Queen B2. If B3, Queen C3. If Bishop, yeah, I think Queen B4 is winning there. Thanks. Okay. Time for one more, I think. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have to abort. Okay. Okay, 3-minute game fits nicely in the last 5 minutes. So E4, Eunuch, Smith Mora. Okay, so here we go. Smith Mora gambit. So Bishop C4, Queen B3. No, why am I saying Queen B3? Okay, let's just assume the standard position. Bishop F4, Queen E2, Rook here, Rook here. Standard position. This H3 means when you're pounced on with E5, there's no Bishop G4. Yes, I did read this somewhere in a book about it. Maybe it was Mayhem in the Mora. Yes, I think it was. Okay, by Esmond. So there's no Bishop G4, immediate reaction. It means I can try and grab D5, which is something. Okay. So Bishop B3. Now, some light square campaign, Knight H2 to G4. If it gives up the light square bishop, if I exchange sack, there's still no attack. Maybe the rooks need to be sort of lifted in advance. Rook D3, Rook D1, Rook CD1. If there's a rook left in advance, then the wrath of Knight H2 to G4 will be unveiled. Maybe. Knight H2 to G4. Why is that the only attacking plan I can see here? Knight H2 to G4. Okay, interesting. In fact, this is because I think this another new diagonal of attack is possible with E takes D5. Is that worth it? It might not be worth it. Yeah. Seems wrong. Okay, I'm going to give it a go anyway. It's only a 3-minute game. In some respects, it seems wrong. Okay, so Knight E4. Okay. I don't want Knight F4. So here, Knight E4. He's positionally doing me over, isn't he? Queen. Okay, it's Queen E4 then. Queen E4. Okay, so F5 is coming. Great. I'll try and put these pawns together to create a passed pawn. There is Knight C5, which doesn't do much. Yeah. Oh, is this a concession of the C file? What's this B5? What's this B5? He's let me have the C file here. There's an immediate rook c6 hitting 2 pawns. This looks good. Potentially knight e5 d6 if the knight's not on e5. I think rook c6 is interesting. Okay, knight e6 is interesting. Okay, knight f5 is definitely interesting. Okay, knight d6 is definitely interesting. Aha. Knight takes e4. I'm gobbling here. Gobbling mode. d6. d6. d7. d7. Rook c8. Rook c8's coming. Yeah, I don't think my position was anything actually. After e takes d5, we could. I suspect it wasn't anything earlier. All right. Okay. I'll take here then. Bishop f5. Okay. So bishop f5 is not doing anything. Let's just do that for a moment. Okay. And there's a knight f6 little trick. No, there isn't. Because this bishop on f6. Let's just try and not give the bishop up for nothing. I mean, seriously, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay. Okay, yeah. Thanks. Right. Okay. Just to recap, hope you enjoyed that. Premium, go premium, 15% off, voucher code Kingscrusher at chess24.com/premium. Get to play Magnus Carlsen, other grandmasters, celebrities, even buddies like me on Sunday. So you just turn up before challenges, 20, 30 minutes, you get on our challenge list. You can get that chance of playing Magnus Carlsen. That's the key thing, I think, as well. All right, to mention. And all right, have a good week. See you next week. On YouTube, please feed the algorithms. Yeah, all the likes, subscribes, all welcome. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much. Cheers then.